you've learned what a record format is. Now we'll explore the screen paint generator and learn some of its functions. We'll choose B to create a new record format. We'll call it Play, since that's what we're doing. Take the default on the GUI option and of course press Release to proceed. Now we choose A for Paint the Screen. Everyone's favorite nightmare, the blank screen. And we have to put something on it. Actually, that's not hard. All you do is type what you want the operator to see on the screen. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, that's not very useful, but you have to admit it was easy, so we'll back up and delete it using the delete key. Let's put sample data entry screen. And the generator tells us we're in column 25 on the screen. That's certainly reasonable. When I press the field release key, we're on line 2, column 1. We just created a tag only field. Now let's create one where the operator can key some data. And let's very cleverly call it field 1, put a colon and a space, and now I'm going to press the underscore key 5 times. And Unibase replaced the first underscore with a caret to show that this is the beginning of the field, and our record size now shows as 5 characters. Okay, let's press Tab a couple of times and put in another field. Field 2, and again 5 underscores. And now our record size is 10 characters. And one more. Field 3, and let's make this one 10 characters. And now our record size is up to 20 characters. It looks easy enough to lay out a screen, at least for simple cases, and you can move around with the usual movement keys. Cursor left, right, up, down and page up, sort of like a word processor. Even the Tab key moves us 8 characters at a time across the screen. Try to avoid moving around the screen with the spacebar. This creates a tag-only field of blanks, which will be confusing when you do checkbox edits. Now suppose we want to space out and add some additional lines to our format so it looks a little clearer on the screen. We can do that with the field insert key combination. We're on line 2. If I press the field key, function key 4, and release it, then the insert key, I get a blank line at line 2, and all the rest of the data gets moved down. If I change my mind and want to delete this line, again I can do it, but with the field delete key. Field, delete, the line disappears, and all the data below it moves up. Unibase also has a function for centering a line, so you don't have to count spaces before and after. Just put your cursor on the line you want to center and press function key 7, normally the loc return key, and we've centered our title. The field function key is also used in conjunction with the letters D for duplicate, E for erase, and G for drag. Think of drag as move. Let's see how these work. First, let's duplicate field 1. We'll put the cursor in that field. Then press the field key, followed by the letter D. Notice that the appearance of the field changes so you can tell which one has been marked. And we get this message that says put the cursor in the first position of the copy location. Okay, if we move the cursor down and then press field release, the message disappears. Field 1 appears as it did before, and we have a copy of it where I had the cursor in line 7, column 7. Let's drag or move the second occurrence of this field. The cursor is already in the field, so I'll press the field key, followed by the letter G. Again, the field changes appearance, and I get a similar message. So I'm going to move the cursor down and over. When I press field release, the original field that was marked disappears and reappears in line 11, column 32. And we can erase this field by putting the cursor in it and pressing the field key followed by the letter E. The message again asks if we're really sure, and the field release gets rid of the field. Of course, you can always delete a field just by pressing the delete key on all the characters in the field. But this moves any characters on the rest of the line over to the left. Of course, sometimes you want to do this, but other times you want to use the field E to leave the rest of the line intact. This makes it easier to put a new field in the same place. For both duplicate a field and move a field, the space has to be available on the screen to hold the field. Otherwise, you'll get an error message. Let me put two tags on the screen, A, B, C, and D, E, F. Now let's try to copy field 1, field D, between these two tags. When I press field release, I get not enough room for field in the new location. The record format generator will not move this field to the right in order to put in a new field. Instead, we need to put it in a different place. So I'll move down the line, press field release, and now I have my field copied. And we can get rid of these two lines by using the field delete function. Let me point out one other thing about painting the screen. Suppose I want to put a new field between field 1 and 2. If I just start typing, I destroy the old information. Of course, I can always rekey it further down the line, but instead I may want to insert it without having to rekey the other field. Unibase is normally in strikeover mode. If I press the insert key, I get INS on the top line to indicate I'm now in insert mode, and I can put in my new field, and the rest of the items on that line moves to the right. Notice, however, that insert shuts off as soon as any non-character key is pressed, such as cursor left. I also want you to note that the insert will wrap your field to the next line. So if I do an insert right here and put in A, B, C, D, the information moves from the end of this line to the beginning of this one. However, if I now delete the characters I added, we don't bring back the information at the beginning of this line to the end of this line. You wouldn't want it to either, or you would have a double of a time deleting fields out of the middle of a screen.